Guru Prakash Paswan, does the BJP concede that unlike during the assembly elections when the idea of Rahul Gandhi pushing for a caste census didn't really fly, now during the Lok Sabha elections and post, it seems to have generated more traction. There is now visibly a section in society that says, okay, let's push for this, especially the downtrodden, those who are dispossessed, the backwards. They demand this, and this is now becoming a political hot potato for the BJP. You know the pitfalls, you don't really want to do it, but you can't come out publicly and oppose it either.
No, Rahul, I think in your initial set of research, you have indicated what the truth of the matter is. And I was patiently listening to Mr. Yogendra Yadav as well. And you have also articulated it very nicely that the question is of opportunism. So precisely, caste or any social injustice, social inequality for the Congress party, it's a question of opportunism. But for the Bharatiya Janata party, it's a question of opportunities. It is essentially opportunism on one side and opportunities on the other side. Mr. Rahul Gandhi keeps talking about Dalit Adivasi. Mr. Rahul Gandhi's party, Congress party, is in government in Himachal Pradesh, in Telangana, in Karnataka. How many Dalit Adivasi CMs are there? I want to ask him tonight. As far as the Bharatiya Janata party is concerned, opportunities. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Vishnu Dev Sai comes from Adivasi community. Odisha Chief Minister Mohan Majhi comes from Adivasi community. Deputy Chief Minister from Madhya Pradesh Jagdish Devda comes from Dalit community. Prem Prakash Baerwa, Deputy Chief Minister from Rajasthan, comes from Dalit community. This is a question. And Rahul, let me also make this very clear. Mr. Yogendra Yadav was making very lofty statements about representation, about social justice, about opportunities, about sharing power, about bhagidari, and he was also talking about the feudal elites. कि डर जाएंगे अगर उनका नंबर बाहर आ जाएगा था. For the first time in the history of our country, Rahul, for the first time in the history of our country, we have an Adivasi ki beti at the highest constitutional position in the country. The same feudal elite, the same Congress elite, they are scared of the fact that we have become the 5th largest economy in the world under the leadership of a prime minister who comes from an Ati Pichudi Jati. I want to ask, and especially in your initial observation, you made it very clear. 1961, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, while writing to the Chief Minister, he said, I oppose reservation of any kind because it encourages mediocrity, because it produces second-class officers, it promotes inefficiency. Cut to 1990, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, father of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, on the floor of the House, he opposed the recommendations of Mandal Commission. He said that you have brought the country on the edge of caste wars. 1998, Mr. Sitaram Kesri, I come from Bihar. Sitaram Kesri, a OBC president of the Congress party, was insulted in the Congress party. Unki dhoti khich li gayi thi. On the contrary, circa 2014, we have the NCBC getting the constitutional status, highest share of representation in the Council of Ministers, highest share of representation within the party, highest share of representation for the Member of Parliament. Just last 10 seconds, Rahul. For the first time, Rahul, and this is a very important data, a very important Parliament Standing Committee on Home Affairs. For the first time, we have a Dalit, Brijlalji, chairing that committee. For the first time since
so Sanjay Jha, the BJP is framing this as Rahul's opportunism versus Modi's opportunities. Now, his great-grandfather opposed it, his grandmother opposed it, the father opposed it. Rahul Gandhi himself, when we played plenty of those reactions from the past, was very opposed to the idea of even asking somebody if he's a Dalit or if he's an OBC. He was opposed to the whole idea. Now he's pivoted to being a votary of the caste census. How genuine is it? How does anyone know it's genuine? Because could this really just be down to opportunism? That he realizes that you can't really beat BJP's Mandal, this whole idea that you can unify Hindu communities as one large political umbrella. The way to splinter that umbrella is to break Hindus along caste lines. Is that really what's at play here?
Rahul, good evening. It is astonishing that we are discussing a very serious and a grave subject of caste census or caste discrimination. And there has not been a single utterance, I did not expect that from the BJP for sure, of the Indian Constitution. Here is the truth, that if anybody's read the Indian Constitution, they will be aware that as far as the empowerment of the discriminated against or the disempowered, this is the one instance actually where the Constitution empowers the state to become more interventionist. In fact, the Constitution encourages the state to do what we call
No, but Sanjay, you aren't
reverse.
answering my question. You're giving a philosophical answer to a straight question. I'm saying for a very long time, Rahul Gandhi himself opposed everything to do with caste. Now he's become a votary of the caste census. How do we know this is genuine and this isn't just political opportunism?
You know, Rahul, if you hadn't interrupted me, I was almost coming to that point.
Okay.
But you need to get the context right. Let's not do a transactional debate here. My issue is that the Constitution empowers the state to do reverse discrimination, or what you call as positive discrimination and affirmative action. Why? Because the founders of the Constitution saw that there was going to be backwardness in India, inequality and poverty, which is exactly the reality. Now, this has gone beyond what Rahul Gandhi said and Narendra Modi said. I think let's be a little adult here in this conversation. The backwardness of the Indian economy, the inequality that has got aggravated over the last 10 years, and the fact that there is rampant joblessness in India is actually going to make all political parties now work on reservations. And the answer is straightforward. There are no jobs happening. The government is looked up to by largely the majority of the people who are scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and the OBCs of India for a job or an educational opportunity. Now, here is the BJP person on your panel who said, I'm from Bihar. I've got bad news for him. Even I'm from Bihar. Did you notice something interesting? He never mentioned his own ally Nitish Kumar's caste census report or the caste survey report. What are the findings, Rahul? Very interesting. Only 1% of the people of Bihar are postgraduates. Only 7% are graduates. Now the very disturbing data. Only 0.44% have a four-wheeler or a car, and only 3% or 3.5% have a two-wheeler. Let me tell you, if you go granular into the data, Rahul, you'll be stunned to know that the majority of the people who have none of it are people who are scheduled tribe, scheduled caste, and the OBCs and the EBCs. Here is the point in the caste census debate that I think Yogendra Yadav was talking about, that you have a situation, Rahul, today where the entire conversation or the rhetoric of Mr. Modi's government is about 5 trillion economy, which this man quoted, and they talk about India being, a third largest economy.
No, but if it's also simple,
no one talks
why
about
doesn't the Congress government in Karnataka, Sanjay Jha, take the lead and make the caste census that's already been done public? Act on it.
Absolutely. Now, here is where I'm going to agree with you, Rahul. The Congress has to bite the bullet. Rahul Gandhi has done that in Parliament. And you need to address this because I feel, and I'm a Brahmin, by the way, and I will share with you an example. I'm a Brahmin. I'm from Bihar. My father used to be a person under whom people did a PhD. And when I was just 12 years old, I've written the story in my book. When I was just 12 years old, one of the persons who did a PhD under him came to my house when my dad was not there. He happened to be from a backward caste. I discovered it later. He came and he touched my feet when I was 12 years old. And I said, why are you doing that? This is embarrassing. If at all, you should look up to my dad. And he said, no, I'm doing that because I belong to a backward caste and you're a Brahmin.
Okay.
That is the state of discrimination in India.
We should be ashamed of ourselves. It's a very simple question. If it's also simple, begin by implementing where you can. Rest of it is all philosophy. Everybody wants to give us the 360-degree helicopter shot view. Arey boss, jahan aap kar sakte ho to kar do na. Rahul Verma, you've been smiling at different parts of this conversation. Now, I want you to get to brass tacks because everybody's giving me a philosophical underpinning, and that's fine. I can have an academic debate. Do you think this is really being done to try and break the BJP's Mandal vote bank? That Rahul Gandhi, the opposition, realizes the only way out of the Chakravyuh of Mandal politics is to go the Kamandal route?
That's right. See, India's both national parties, be it Congress or be it BJP, had a very uncomfortable relationship with the question of caste and social justice. Congress took a long time realizing this caste question, perhaps in 2006, when Arjun Singh basically got what you know as Mandal 2. And then Congress now has started talking about caste and social justice. Same is the case with BJP. BJP, like on one side will talk about caste representation. And between 2014 and 2024, you saw every time there was a ministerial expansion happening or anything, they would also tell you how many Dalits or how many scheduled castes they got into it. But I don't think both of these parties have had a serious intellectual thinking on how to deal with the question of caste and social justice. And that's the real problem. And that's why they will be skirting the issue, not dealing head on. You have, you pointed out Congress party conducting caste census in Karnataka and not implementing it. You have also seen with BJP, you had Rohini Commission recommendations, which has been submitted to government after many delays, and the government has yet not tabled that report.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, Rahul Verma. Imagine you're a cutthroat practitioner, not an academic, and now the caste census is implemented in the way that Rahul Gandhi is saying, "Main to karunga, kisi na din karunga." If it gets implemented, I want you in 120 seconds to describe to our viewers what you think the consequences could be.
I don't know, and it's hard to figure out. See, you need census to be done. Forget about caste census. You need census to be done, which has not happened. And I think Yogen ji was absolutely right. You need to add the column on caste in caste census, because you need to be able to have evidence. If in this country we run lots of policies where caste-based sort of allocations are made, you need to have that evidence to basically design policies. Now, there are multiple possibilities and multiple trajectories that can take place. One, you could have, as you pointed out, the demand for lifting the 50% cap, which has already, in practice, has already gone out. 22% SC/ST, 27% OBC, 10% EWS. So that 50% in practice is not there. You could also see demand for sort of like private sector reservations. But think like why these demands are being raised. And these demands are being raised because a large section of Indian society, which is SC/ST, OBC, does not feel that it is being represented. Yes, it can sort of like create more problems. But, any new sort of like radical policy change when you are trying to bring can always create problems. Okay. But are you not going to do those changes because you fear of those sort of like things in future?
Guru Prakash Paswan, you didn't answer the question. You criticized Rahul Gandhi and the Congress's opportunism, their past comments historically. But do you concede in the context of contemporary politics, this is now proving to be a political hot potato for the BJP? You're finding it difficult to try and gauge and determine how to oppose this without being able to oppose this publicly?
No, Rahul, that's not the question, absolutely. And in my personal view, I'm of the firm opinion that caste has always been a political hot potato, because the question of representation, the question of opportunities have always been in our society. I remember Bharat Ratna Karpuri Thakur ji, he comes from Nai community. When he became the chief minister, a nara was given in Bihar. Since he comes from the Nai community, the nara was Karpuri, Karpura, Chhod Kursi, Pakad Astura. So we are not denying the element of social inequality is still there. But the point is not that. Even today, the Prime Minister has to suffer कि तुम नीच जाति के हो, तुम्हारी कब्र खुदेगी. So the point is not that. Even the Rashtrapati is being referred to devilish mindset. On her skin tone, there have been multiple comments made. But the point is this, that there is social inequality. We admit it. What Mr. Yogendra Yadav said or what Mr. Sanjay Jha said is not a discovery. We are aware of the fact that there are caste-based inequalities in India. But the point is, which you said in your opening remarks, is the question of hypocrisy. I have a book in my hand, Rahul, where it has been categorically said, Babu Jagjeevan Ram, the tallest Dalit leader after Baba Saheb Ambedkar, he said it after a lot of pain and agony. He said that a Chamar can never become the Prime Minister of this country. And Indira Gandhi, he said this because Indira Gandhi said कि जगजीवन राम प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनने चाहिए, वो जीवन भर छोड़ेंगे नहीं. So the point is this, the hypocrisy.
Okay, Sanjay Jha, 20 seconds. Rahul, you said that in Karnataka, the caste census should be implemented.
Rahul, 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds. I'm out of time, sir.
नहीं देखिए राहुल जी, 2010 group of ministers under the leadership of Pranab Mukherjee. Why did they not release the data? I want to ask you. It was 2010.
But the problem in this debate is everyone is citing the other's hypocrisy and not answering for their own. Sanjay Jha, can somebody who comes, he calls himself a Dattatreya Brahman. Most people who've voiced the demand for caste census actually come from backward caste. Now we've got a situation where somebody who comes from a forward caste is trying to become the voice of the dispossessed, the backwards. Can this succeed politically? Forget the philosophy. Can this succeed politically?
Absolutely. You know, Rahul, what I'm convinced of, when people from the forward class, Rahul Gandhi, forward caste, when I think many people, including me, when we bat for the backward caste, that's when change happens. Otherwise, people see it from a prism of politics. Give me 10 seconds and I will wrap up, Rahul. The BJP is looking at the caste census from the point of view of a defeat of their Hindutva campaign. That's the reason why they have always opposed the Mandal Commission.
Okay.
And the second point, the real story of India is economic and social empowerment. And no political party can now ignore it, which is why you are absolutely right. This is a hot political potato, if you can call it. But the BJP cannot anymore dodge the reality of India's inequality, poverty and backwardness.
Rahul Gandhi can walk the talk by getting Chief Minister Siddharamaiah to implement the caste census in Karnataka. Let that be the starting point. Only then can anyone say that this isn't opportunism. And then we'll take it from there in terms of how genuine this is and how much of this is opportunism. But this is what politics is about. Rahul Gandhi is latched onto an idea that he thinks can help him. You know, this is the real Chakravyuh that's there. The Hindutva Chakravyuh that the BJP has built, which is a solid Chakravyuh, and he thinks this is how he can go in and permeate that Chakravyuh. And this is really down to political battlefield tactics and maneuvering. And we will track what happens. Guru Prakash Paswan, Rahul Verma, Sanjay Jha for joining me on the News Track. Thank you very much.